In this video, we'll be discussing about lean manufacturing or otherwise called lean production. Okay, so with that, what is meant by lean? First of all, we should know a general concept of what is lean. Lean is called as doing more and more work. We have to do lots of work, like more and more work with less resources. With very less resources in the sense, resources include human effort. Equipment also should be yes. We have to consume this very less time to produce or manufacture, and we have to utilize very less space comparing to other methods. Okay, while coming closer to the uh, uh, very closer to the customer and providing them the product or service which they needed on time. Okay, so that is what lean. Lean is generally more and more work with less and less human effort, less equipment, less time, and less space, while coming closer and closer to providing customers with exactly what they want. Okay, that is what lean. So, what is meant by lean production? So, lean production can be defined as a adaptation of mass production. So, we know what is meant by mass production. So, from the mass production, advancement in mass production came as a lean manufacturing by considering the concept of lean. So where workers and work cells are made more flexible. Okay, so workers and work cells. So you know what is meant work cell. Okay, so work cell contains lots of equipments, machineries which can do like a particular part family or batches. Okay, so that is what work cells. Okay, it includes machineries, equipments, tools, inspection systems, and that. So lean production in the sense bringing like workers and work cells are made more flexible and efficient by adopting methods that reduces waste in all forms. So if by combining worker and work cells more flexible and bring them more efficient and make them more efficiently by for reducing the waste in any form in the sense, not only in the material waste alone. Tools if we are using, it should not break, or we should not use the human power unnecessarily. Okay, if it is there is a need, we have to use human power or labor there. Otherwise, simply keeping one or two labors for example, if the work needed only one operator, simply we are keeping two operators or three operators there, in the sense we are wasting on resource in terms of human power. Similarly, a tool is a high carbon steel tool or a carbide tool. It may withstand for a longer period. And since simply we are keeping two or three carbide tools in that in single machine for safety purpose, it's not recommended because we are wasting the resources. So minimizing the waste in terms of all forms is kind of lean production or lean manufacturing, where we have to bring workers and work cells or more bring together and make it more flexible and efficient way by some form of adapting the methods called like reducing the waste. Okay, so according to the one definition, like machines that changed the world, they said lean production running based on four principles. What are all the four principles under which lean manufacturing is running or lean production is running? Is one is minimizing waste, second one is the perfect first time quality, flexible production line, and fourth one is the continuous improvement. Okay, so from these four principles we can understand how the lean production is running. So from the words like minimizing the waste or perfect first time quality or flexible production lines or continuous improvement itself, we could able to understand what would be the concept under lean manufacturing. We'll see one by one in detail. Okay, what is meant by minimizing the waste? So as I said, like four principles are there, but all four principles of lean production or lean manufacturing follows or derived from the first principle called minimizing the waste. Okay, Tachi Ono. So you know that who is that? He introduced that just in time concept in Japan, Toyota production system. Okay, so in his statement, he also insisted minimizing the waste, right? So in lean production also there are four concepts or principles under that. Minimizing the waste is the first one. From this minimizing the waste concept only, other three principles like a perfect first time quality, flexible production lines, or continuous improvement derived. Okay, so who invented this? Again, this guy, like a Japanese guy, Taichi Ono, he implemented or listed what are all the waste, where we can able to minimize the waste, like that he listed. So what are the waste? Let's see. So producing or production of defective parts. Okay, so it's a waste. If we produce the defective parts continuously or randomly or regular interval, if we are producing it, definitely waste, right? So production of defective parts is one kind of waste where we could able to minimize the waste, and the production of more than items number which needed by the customer. So what is needed by the customer? How much is needed by the customer? We have to make. Simply we are making, since we have machines, we have metal, we have resources. Simply we are making is merely waste. If there is an order for the customer, sorry, from the customer, we have to make that order, not extra. Okay, it is the main concept in the just in time concept also. Here also in lean production also they are considering by adding mass production concept also. Okay, remember that. And unnecessary inventories, so minimizing the inventory also one of the main key player for just in time concept. Here also unnecessary inventories we should eliminate, so that we can able to minimize the waste. So what is that inventory? How come if we keep the inventory will be waste? It's a cost involved in that, right? Money involved in that, space involved in that, some labors will be involved in that, or equipments involved in that to carry the inventories or store it. Okay, so unnecessary inventories we have to minimize, and unnecessary processing steps we have to eliminate. So we have to be very careful in deciding their processing steps. So simply we should not send, as I explained in for just in time concept also. If the machine can make like a 2 millimeter material removal, it should be removed. So instead of that, simply you are making, okay, remove in one machine 1 millimeter, again you go with another machine with 1 millimeter material removal. It's merely unnecessary processing step. The machine can capable of producing, the tool can be able to remove 2 millimeter of materials without any disturbances for product, or life of the tool also will not be affected much significantly. In the sense, we can go with a single depth of cut of 2 millimeter and we can able to remove that. So unnecessary processing steps also is considered as a one waste. So we have to minimize the unnecessary movement of people. So it should be fixed path. The materials needs to be moved in a defined path, until otherwise people will be roaming here and there. In the sense, it's unnecessary. Okay, and unnecessary transport of materials. Okay, materials should be in the fixed place or defined path only it should travel, otherwise it's a merely waste. Okay, so once it's simply you are carrying a material from one place to another place which is not necessary, it is considered as a waste only, because time is involved there, material handling equipments involved there. Okay, and it will create some like uncomfortness or disturbances to the other production line also. So that should be, and we are keeping the workers to waiting. For example, they completed the work which is given to them, or the task which is given to them in the particular machine. Okay, so if immediately we are giving the next job is better, otherwise we are making them to wait is merely waste, right? So these are all the waste, list of waste he derived, and he wanted to reduce that. So minimizing the waste is that. So he implemented this concept in the Toyota plants also, and he successfully minimized this kind of waste. Okay, so this is the first principle under your lean production. So second principle, so as I said, from the minimizing the waste concept only, other three principles are also derived. So second principle is perfect first time quality. Okay, in mass production what we do generally, we will be making some component with some allowances. Okay, some defects will be there, with some fraction of defects is available, or some acceptable limits. That acceptable limits will be called as a AQL, acceptable quality level. We will be setting some parameters or values for considering the acceptance. Okay, so like some tolerance value we will be giving. So that is what generally in mass production. How this is different from different in lean production. In the sense, in lean production, we won't be considering the acceptable quality level. In that, we need perfect quality. That's it. Okay, it's not like okay, plus or minus 0.22 is there. Okay, we can go and we can accept. It is that acceptable quality level will be there in the mass production, because mass production will be huge volume of product we are going to make. But in terms of lean production, comparing to the mass production, volume of product what we are going to make will be lower. Okay, and the acceptable quality level won't be there in terms of lean production. In that, perfect quality is required. Okay, so that is what first time itself we have to make perfect product. Okay, then only we can able to achieve the product which is needs to be delivered to the customer on with good quality, without having any defect, like a zero defects level in product quality, and also will be delivered to the customer on their required time. Okay, that is what. If otherwise, for example, if we are making little defect, then may go for second step or further processing, then production will stop in terms of lean production. So but mass production, it is can be adjustable and we can able to go further. Okay, so so that is that should not be there in terms of lean production. Lean production should have a perfect quality, with zero defects, then only we can able to continue the production. Okay, another principle, like a third principle, will be flexible production system in terms of mass production, because in like a lean production is comparing with the mass production only. So that's why each slide is coming with the mass production and the lean production. In terms of flexible production system, in terms of mass production concern, mainly focused on maximizing the efficiency of the production system. Okay, it won't focus on your batch size or quality and all. It will be thinking about the maximum efficiency. To in order to achieve the maximum efficiency only, they will be thinking by running the long production runs. Okay, they will be doing long production run, mass production in the sense similar kind of product with huge volume, as well as they will be producing the huge volume same product for the longer period. Okay, that they will be making this like a continuously. Okay, so what will happen, longer production which runs the tolerate long setup changeovers. Okay, for example, there will be changeovers, it will be adjustable. Okay, so mass production only focused on maximizing the efficiency, but speed of changeover will be difficult in terms of mass production. But in terms of lean production, we have to have a procedure which needs to be designed to change over. Okay, we have to do the changeover, because comparing to the mass production, here lean production will be having the small volume of product only, and we are not going to do the production like a long production as mass production. In terms of lean production, we'll be producing the small batch sizes for the shorter period only. Okay, because components needs to be upgraded. Okay, so it will come under agile, but in lean also there will be a like a continuous change in market of products. Demand will increase, right? So you have to make a smaller batch size, and also it should be produced for the shorter period comparing to the mass production. Mass production, they will be running the same volume of high number of volume of product and same product for the long production duration, like more than 2 years or something, or according to the nature of the product, like 6 months or 1 year or 8 months, something like that. But in terms of lean production, they won't do that. So they will be keep on updating the customer demand, and they will be analyzing the market, and they will produce only small number of volume, like a small batch size, and they will be very very flexible for speedy changeover of the production system. Okay, so that product that flexibility that it should have. The flexible production system were needed in Toyota's, because in Toyota company mainly they focus on making cars for the Japanese people, because the market for Japanese market for car is very very small. But in the sense what they need a different style of cars in shorter time, right? Because market is small, so always they will be expecting something new. So you have to run small batches, and you should have a speedy changeover for the market demand. That is what the flexible production system. But in terms of mass production, it is not, because mass production will be focused on only efficiency, and it will run for longer production of ideal components. Then fourth principle for our lean production is continuous improvement. So in terms of mass production, there is a tendency to set up the operation, and if it is working, just leave it. Okay, there is a no need of change anything or do something or try something smart. If you fix it, started producing the ideal component without giving any trouble, just leave it. It will run and give continuous output for you. That is what your mass production. But in terms of lean production or lean manufacturing is totally contrast or opposite in nature. So always need improvement. Okay, it will be looking for always improvement, because it's only focusing on small batch size, and always focusing on the product what they are making under the lean production will be the products will be needed much frequent changes from the customers or users. Okay, so they should have a policy to continuous improvement. Okay, the continuous improvement called Kazian by the Japanese people. They will be always searching for the improvement in such a way to reduce the cost or improve the quality or increase the productivity. Okay, so lean production is focusing on or support or following the continuous improvement policy. Okay, so these are all the four principles which is used for our what to say lean production. So in terms of continuous improvement, how it can be? Okay, so what are the things will be comes under continuous improvement, in the sense it will be carried out in one project at a time. Okay, so what are the things? They will be focusing on cost reduction, they will be focusing on quality improvement, productivity improvement, setup time reduction or cycle time reduction, manufacturing lead time or work in process inventory reduction, and the improvement of product design to increase performance and customer appeal. Okay, so here you know that what is meant by setup time reduction, what you mean by life cycle manufacturing lead time, what is meant by cycle time, and that. Okay, so we have to they will be focusing on reducing wherever possible. They want to reduce that. Okay, for example, cost in the sense they try to reduce the cost of making, or product quality in the sense they try to improve the quality of the product or improve the productivity. But in another way, like a cycle time or setup time or lead time, they try to reduce that. And in terms of inventory, they try to reduce that in terms of lean production. But in terms of mass production, once they set up, if it is product outputs are coming constantly, in the sense they won't care about, or they won't think, or they won't invest much time on trying to reduce the setup time or trying to reduce the cycle time or trying to improve the quality, because mass product. But remember, it is all about what kind of product they are. Okay, mass production maybe need that much, that is enough for the mass production, that much quality. Okay, but in terms of lean production, the product which they are implementing lean production maybe need high demand by the customer, and always the customer need quicker changes in their design, or expectation of the customer will be very very higher. Okay, so this is the general structure combining all the principles which we discussed. So first is customer focus. Okay, but the customer focus will be supported by two concepts. One is just in time, another one is automation. But worker environment is very very important. This comes under just in time concept. Elimination of the waste is the main. Okay, so we have seen lots of waste, or what are the things we can able to eliminate. So waste elimination, that is the main for your lean production system. Okay, and how, because all the principles we discussed with by comparing the mass production and lean production. So mass production and lean production, how it differ? So here they will be keeping some inventory buffer for running the mass. Of course, for mass production we need to keep the inventory, but here you have to minimize the waste, or you have to minimize the inventory. That is what lean production. Here just in case deliveries, but in here just in time delivery. Just in case is different, just in time is different. Here, in terms of quality concern, you will be following the accepted quality level with some allowances will be given, and it can be accepted like a product can be accepted with some tolerance values on that. But here, what is the expected quality? For example, this is the particular tolerance you have fixed that should be achieved. Perfect. First time itself, you have to achieve that. Okay, and here you can television you can in terms of workers. Okay, so there will be like a monotonous job or similar job they will be doing for a longer period, but here you will be making a team or a group of people will be cross functional. Okay, and here they will be in terms of mass production they will be focusing on the efficiency, but here they will be including the flexibility and also worker environment. They will be bringing the agile concept again. They will be making the people to work together. And in terms of mass production, if nothing is going, some is broken or trouble or some disturbances in the production, without any changes or improvement, just they will be continuing the production in terms of mass production. But in terms of lean production, they will be always focusing on the improvement. Okay, so this is the difference between mass production and lean production. Okay.